Hi, this is Mariah Gullo from The Hollywood Reporter, and I'm in studio today with T.I.
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right.
You have several projects that we're going to be talking about, but the first one I want to talk about is the movie that's opening tomorrow.
Let's do that.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes.
Okay, I saw this movie. It's hilarious.
Man,
it's
we had
so
a good time.
funny.
We had a great time.
Did you learn any comedic skills from Michael Pena?
I've learned a lot of things from Michael Pena. I don't know if comedic skills is on the list.
You guys have good timing together.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's all about chemistry. You know, we really, on and off the camera, we continue to, you know, just joke and build dialogue and you know, just kind of go over potential deliveries. You know what I'm saying? And also David the Schmaltian.
Yes.
So me, Michael, and Dave. Sometimes, you know, Paul will jump in here and there. You know, and sometimes when he's on set and he'll say, hey, try this one, do this one, do that one. And that's cool. And I mean, and also the director, Peyton Reed, man, he's a phenomenal director, and he has a keen eye for comedy.
Yeah, you can definitely see that this is, you know, this is kind of the way that Marvel's going.
Yeah.
They're much more interested in giving people a good laugh.
I think it works because, you know, with so much action and drama, you know, comedy, it breaks the monotony of it. You know, kind of lightens the mood to give you more of an opportunity to go big on the action or big on the drama.
Yeah, well put. So did you get to do any improvising when you were on this set? Yeah,
the very end, there was a big improv, like when we were doing our news feed, when we were...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was completely improv. It was just basically like, man, just do something.
That's great. That's great. And like for me personally, one of the biggest laughs I had was a moment, your reaction to Ghost, one of the characters in the show. It is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I mean, it's strange because most of those takes, there was nothing there.
Right.
So I was just acting.
Right. Not even a tennis ball?
There may have been something like that, you know.
But it's hard to react to a tennis ball in a dramatic way.
No, it actually makes it much easier because if there was something there and you know that it's not deserving of that reaction, that's different than, you know, having nothing there, because then you can just imagine whatever it is that would be there that would get that reaction from you.
Yeah. So how does it feel to be, you know, a part of the Marvel universe?
Man, it's
like a social club?
It's surreal. I don't know. I haven't gotten any like invitations to much.
Oh yeah, no secret meetings yet.
Not yet. But who knows, man? Maybe part 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it though. I think that it's an expansive universe of narrative and story and characters that have purpose, and I think that altogether, I think it comes together, man, to make just a phenomenal storyline. You know what I mean? I don't know, chronologically though, how do you start where Marvel began and who introduced who to who and what branch went this way? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like X-Men from Spider-Man. How does that work?
Yeah, I have no idea.
You know what
I mean,
saying?
I followed some of the comic books. I was big into X-Men when I was young.
So was I.
But I mean, it's been so jumbled around and crazy.
It's expensive. You know, the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers. How did they ever come to? You know, that's crazy to me. But
eventually there'll be a movie for everything.
I mean, but I just think that, you know, when dealing with fantasy, you can make anything make sense.
Yeah.
And it's just all about having the creative minds and the imaginations that are developed enough to make it all logical.
Yeah. I love alternative timelines, but what I also love from Ant-Man is they create this new world, the quantum world.
Right.
So all sorts of things can happen once the quantum world is being manipulated.
Right. I think that's an excellent point, which is why it's so great to be in the universe.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I mean, because you have the quantum world, and you have the galaxy, and then you have, you know, the conventional Marvel universe. It's wonderful to be a part of it.
Yeah. So if there was one Marvel character that you could bring into the real world right now just to help us with all of the problems of the world today, who would you want to bring in?
Tony Stark's.
Oh, nice. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I think quick wit goes a long way.
Yes, agreed.
And, you know, cannons coming out of your palms can't hurt you.
That will not hurt.
Yeah.
So can we talk about your reality show, The Grand Hustle?
Certainly. I'd love to.
Tell me about making that.
Man, I had a phenomenal time making it. It was an awesome journey, awesome ride, man, where we took 16 of the nation's most tenacious hustlers and ran them through the gambit to see which one of them had what it take to join our team of executives on Grand Hustle and earn a six-figure salary.
Can you tell me 3 reasons why it's better than The Apprentice?
The host.
Number one.
I believe my sincere passion to help, wanting to help my contestants. Like, I sincerely want to see them succeed, because ultimately I'm going to get a better, I don't want to say employee, but team member out of that.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see them surpass their self-inflicted limitations. You know what I'm saying? I want to see them grow and reach the level of expectations I have for them. But if they don't, I'm not necessarily just bite your head off nasty and disrespectful. I think that's kind of lame.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of lame and played out. Like, if you really a boss, you don't have to jump up on the desk and, you know, send people to get coffee just to prove it.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be carried out in, you know, opportunities that you create, solutions that you provide to real problems, and how you're able to lead. You know, so I think that's another one. And lastly, I'm gonna go back to the first one. I think the host.
Excellent.
Right on.
Yeah, and it sounds to me like the show has as much to do with the contestant as it does with the host.
It does, and I believe that our contestants they're hungrier than the contestants from The Apprentice. I feel like The Apprentice, these contestants already had a certain level of success. So I don't think that it wasn't as dire. The need was not as dire. The stakes were not as high.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think the pressure, because these guys, if you have reached a certain level of success, and you're used to a certain level of pressure, a certain amount of pressure. My guys, some of them couldn't, you know, they just were not used to that level of stress and pressure on a consistent basis. And I think it makes for great television.
Yeah.
And I think it, you know, it kind of breaks them through certain personality traits that they might need to overcome in order to make it to where they want to be in life.
Yeah, very well put. So speaking of Trump, I know you had a very real conversation with Kanye recently.
Yeah.
And how did that come about, or how are things going between the two of you?
I mean, man, we have a high level of respect for one another, you know, and I think the conversation was had with a high level of respect and admiration on both sides, and we just wanted to share our views, and I just wanted to pick his brain, get his thoughts, and so I could have a better understanding of where he was coming from and what he was, you know, attempting to say. And I wanted him to do the same for me. And we did that successfully over a 5-hour period. And at the end of it, we just decided it would be dope if we did a song that kind of detailed the conversation, like the highlights of the conversation. And, you know, I never thought he'd put it out because of the blatant honesty, you know, because I actually wanted to say things that I felt that people walking the streets would say. So like a word on the street, you know, I wanted to kind of give it a very organic feel. And I think it was extremely courageous of him to just put it out the next day, regardless of the adverse opinion that it may receive from his fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like the American people should thank you for giving him perspective.
Nah, man. I mean, you don't really have to thank me, man. I just appreciate being in the position and having the opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to speak on behalf of what's right.
How important are your political views to your music persona?
I mean, while they do go hand in hand at times, they could both live perfectly well without each other. You know, they're just kind of like friends with benefits. You know what I'm saying? They come together whenever it's necessary, whenever it's mutually beneficial, and then they remain completely separate in other times where they're not.
And people do look up to you, and if they feel motivated to take action based on, you know, how they're feeling about the world today, they want to take action, do something right for their community, or you know, kind of listen to you and everybody else who speaks out. What would you suggest they do?
Well, I think for one, get out into your community and find out who your local organizers are, because there are boots on the ground in every community almost, and there are people organizing all types of initiatives based around the need of those communities. So I think that's the first thing. If you have a specific agenda, well, you just have to surround yourself with like-minded people who feel how you feel and who are as passionate about what you would like to see changed. And you guys, you know, have meetings and put your heads together on peaceful and legal ways that you could demonstrate and show your disapproval and, you know, speak truth to power and disrupt the system.
That sounds good.
Right on.
I have a couple of quick questions for you. Oh, first I wanted to say congratulations on your Tony nomination.
Well, thank you. It was not mine alone. I shared it with my son.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a collaboration that's been happening since birth, but what was it like to collaborate with him
even prior to. But,
in utero.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When he was just a twinkle in my eye.
Oh.
Nah, man, I think that it's phenomenal. I think his successes far supersede my level of excitement for my own. You know, seeing him and all my children flourish in their passions, you know, I feel better about that than I do about just seeing my own success.
That's really nice. Okay, a couple quick questions before I let you go. What's the first job you had where you said, I've made it?
A drug dealer. I'm joking. I mean, that was my real answer. But let's say this job, an entertainer. When I finally got an opportunity to do what I love for a living, that's when I actually made the conscious decision to step away from the drug trade completely. Cold turkey. Never look back.
Nice. The best day on the set of Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Best day on the set. It was San Francisco. It was incredibly cold, windy, chilly, slight rain, a little dark, but we had a good time. And, you know, they were kind of struggling to get a shot, but it was hard to get the shot because it was a lot of, let's just say, art department set dressing that the rain was interfering with, and so on and so forth. And plus, the ground couldn't be wet. So there was a lot of downtime where we could just kind of kick it and chill and talk and, you know, and that was, you know, to me, that was the best day.
Excellent. The last person who gave you great advice?
The last person who gave me great advice? An older gentleman told me one time, you can't hold on to the grass and reach for the stars at the same time. You have to let one of them go.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm scared of that one, but I agree.
Oh, you know, it was someone else put it another way later on in life. And they said, a giraffe does not worry himself about the diet of a turtle. because a giraffe eats in the trees and a turtle eats from the ground.
Yeah.
So if the giraffe is up here, he's not worried about what the turtle is eating.
Yeah, what everybody else thinks is none of your business.
Absolutely.
Worst on-stage mishap?
My worst on-stage mishap. Well, the most memorable one to me, I don't know if it was the worst. It could have been the worst because it was televised, live TV. BET Awards, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yeah.
Quite some time ago, I was performing, I believe it was Bring 'Em Out, and live band, I think it was like an orchestra, something like that. I was walking down some steps, performing, walking down into the crowd or something like that, and all of the sound and everything just completely went out. Nothing but my mic. So I just had to keep going. I couldn't break character. I had to continue to roll with it. And I just kept going, and I think by the end of the performance, it caught back up. I was almost on, but it was to the point where it couldn't be noticed or detected to the untrained eye, and that was, to some the highlight of that show.
Yeah,
Right?
the unexpected.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Last question to you. You have your 10th studio album coming out this year. Can you give us a word or a phrase to tease it out?
Dime trap.
Nice. T.I., thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Go
out in
see
theaters.
it, please.